but you could expedite that really quick, right? But not for long suffering, you know, it's short suffering.
I like the way you're thinking about this.
I mean,
I could shorten my track.
Yeah.
Suffering for sure.
You could, like, you know, if you take ownership, it's a lot easier. Why don't you gotta apologize for this? It's, do you see something open for you? I mean,
I do, yeah. I think the humor of it lets me see
Yeah.
the full, kind of get the full picture.
yeah, there's somebody to hang out with.
Yeah. I feel pretty confident about this.
Yeah, just distinguish the context. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything, right? I mean, other than the meaning, you keep giving it to it.
Yeah, I guess it taps into something about faith and trust in myself too, because it's weird to see. It's weird to see a context replay and not playing it.
Mm.
You just see it keep replaying in different forms. Like it just keeps morphing. And so there's something maybe taking ownership of this will also restore a little bit
Yeah.
of my own transformative ability.
Yeah, and not taking it and allowing it to persist also allows you to get a payoff. You can continue to make it go on. What a waste of time. You're way bigger. Yeah, you're welcome. Let's acknowledge my. Saying that from recognition, so I've been doing that for a long time. Woke up one day saying, what a waste of time. Yeah. Yes, Natalie.
I just realized my context is everything's gonna fall apart.
Oh, yes.
Like my grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and they
Yes.
talk about how they lost everything after these like idyllic European childhood. Grandfather.
You have a lot of evidence.
Yeah, and then like
Yes.
nothing, and then
Mm.
my dad was a refugee to Israel, so like it's just this whole thing of like, why, you know, I actually
Yeah.
create that. I have money and then I create a scenario where it's like, it's gonna all fall apart. Like compulsive spending or.
Yeah.
To keep that, well, you know what, something's, you know, climate change, that, you know, not like that's not necessarily true, but you know, like.
But that's so great that
the
you could see,
apocalypse
yeah.
is, like,
Yeah, I have to
always there.
spend, I have to compulsively spend.
Yeah.
The world is about to fall apart.
Yeah,
right?
like create that scenario,
Yeah.
so I'm always right on the edge of everything falling apart.
Yeah.
But then I don't have to miss out on fun, because the apocalypse is coming, and then as you said, it'd save my money and waste my time.
And what is-
Yeah.
And what is your profession?
Yeah.
Right? That's right. That's perfect.
Come January 12th. But we'll be fine.
Yeah. So, is everybody getting present to how the undistinguished context limits us? So the process of transforming a context begins with distinguishing the existing context that already applied. So when I distinguish and take responsibility for the existing context, I'm returned to nothing. And then from nothing, returning to nothing is required to create a new context for myself and my life. So, okay, so actually we're gonna do a paired share. So I'm going to have you share what's opening up out of this conversation. So please turn to your partner and share what you see as a possibility for living a life of transformation and the opportunity to master creating new contexts and new possibilities. So take 2 minutes each. Go.
Share with you or something, or
That's what I'm very curious. So I'm familiar with the context there. Just familiar with
I don't know why I made it. I don't know what to do. It's like I can't do
Right, the possibilities, no, they're finite, they're very finite. Because again, I'm not, I just don't do imaginary conclusions, like somehow it's distant, like I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing.
So that way, if she decides not to come and show up, we just continue on, like, meeting for lunch in the morning.
Okay, switch, if you have the switch.
So what recognizing it is
Because we already know she's coming.
my actual, seeing, okay, well, I can see that as what happened.
When you get up to the family, there's no difference, there's so many different kinds of things that to do. We just visit there, she shows us, like, what happened, she shows us her dinner, when she shows up, she shows up, so you have to be in a section, like, if you wanna meet, no, exactly, that's how I feel too, but how about no, that's not really true. You know what? She's a very good heart, and it's very emotional, whatever works for me. But, I mean, she was my person, and if I hadn't been friendly with her in my 20s, I wouldn't accept her like that now. So I feel since we had a history, but we were around, like I said, if she's coming, I'll invite you and somebody else, so then I'll have them, if she doesn't show up, then I'll show up. So, she says that, after 12 o'clock, what, come at 12:15 or 12:20, and she says it was like, then I make sure she's gonna make her because that's how I deal with it, because I just want to do it. But what I don't understand is
Trying to resolve it without
You begin to wrap it up?
and I have to find a contact, well, I have a voice, so what if I do something, but I'm happy, and I can do
Begin to wrap it up. And acknowledge your partner. Okay, so I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about about the seminar program. So the seminar program is a structure for ongoing participation, living a life of transformation. So in the forum, you got whatever you got, really just what it looks like to have a future that's created future. And then we say that both the advanced course and the landmark forum are sort of like the dynamite of that blows up what it means to live a life of transformation. And then the seminar program is where, through the ongoing coaching and participation, you get to mine the different veins of all the areas of your life that are important to you. And that's why people have been participating in the seminar program for over 40 years. You've got Tally coming back, and so what you get out of context is this is it goes out of existence until you practice it. So we've got
Forgot all of this.
That's right, yeah. You know, I was on a call the other day with somebody who was a forum leader, was some other call I was participating in, and he said, it was Mark, he's been in 450 different forums, and he's been trained to lead them, and he said, you know, I've been away from it for a little while, and it's like starting from scratch, it's still a new conversation for him. So this thing, it doesn't stick until it goes out of existence, unless we have a structure for ongoing creating an environment that supports us. So that's what the seminar program is, accountable structure for getting ongoing coaching so that you can apply the different distinctions in your life on an ongoing basis. So, and that's, so we have two seminars, we've got seminars about, in this center actually, this is a large center, we're lucky, we have seminars about relationships, about breakthroughs, about excellence, about money, about, they're all sort of offered different parts of the year, but the seminars that are, for each seminar after the end, so this seminar is gonna end in, that next week is our last session. The next one that's logically coming up, we have two seminars that are coming up that are recommended for this seminar participants. So the first one is the Excellence in the Zone seminar, and we're going to give you the handout again. The second one is the Sex and Intimacy seminar. So let me tell you a little bit about so the Excellence in the Zone is on Mondays starting on November 25th. Same thing, so the intention of the Excellence in the Zone seminar is to move beyond excellence as a concept to excellence as a possibility. So, you know, the way we define it is excellence begins with when we know that being good or even competent won't carry the day. When doing more or trying harder won't bridge the gap. When excellence is simply the only alternative. I took this course, I mean, when I was leading a localization team at Microsoft, and it was an amazing distinction to bring excellence to everything that I was doing. I remember a huge promotion that year, so it's a really great course, and it's on Mondays. The other one's the Sex and Intimacy seminar this is what we call a senior seminar. So actually, you need to have taken two seminars, in addition to the Form 2 seminars, to be able to be eligible to take the seminar. But the seminar leader has, everybody here has been given the exception that if you're interested to participate, you can register for this seminar. It's a very, very, very popular seminar. We only get it every 4 to 5 years. So the first time is.
How long does it run?
They're all the same. They're all 10 sessions.
Oh.
Over the course of three months or 3.5 months. And it's on Thursdays. So it's very popular. It's already, I think there's over 100 people already registered. So not like a prayer group like ours. And so you'll have and a lot of the people who participate, you will see people who've been participating, very senior graduates who've been in this work for 30, 40 years are also in this seminar. It's, you know, human beings are all nutty about sex and intimacy. So you get to really give up any conception that you have about it, and it's actually, everybody giggles, it's very uncomfortable, and you really get to distinguish what intimacy is from what sex is. And it's, I mean, I cannot recommend it. It's super, super powerful seminar, and it's going to fill up pretty quickly. I think they have a few seats left, and they've actually said they will make an exception for everyone. So if you're interested, it starts November 14 on Thursdays, and like I said, it's a senior. You'll have the opportunity to be engaged in the distinctions both with a large group and also with people who deeply, deeply engage in this distinction. So it's much richer conversation, much transformational, and opportunity to be with a larger group of graduates as well. You had a question?
What separates a senior seminar versus a regular seminar as far as like, is there a more adult conversation than the degree that we've been having as far as a language, or like? why is it
Yeah, it's a
different?
it's a really good question. So it's, so the Landmark Forum in Action seminar, for example, it's not a junior seminar, but it's a seminar designed for you to actually directly review and deepen the distinctions from the forum. So it's a perfect seminar for anybody who's right out of the forum. You know, you're drinking out of the fire hose and you're reviewing those distinctions. And I've taken the Landmark Forum in Action seminar multiple times. It's a really good way to be reconnected, the distinctions. So we have like that. The excellence seminar is also like that. You take a deeper cut at what excellence looks like. And you will still have integrity and all of the other fundamental distinctions as well. So the two seminars that we have here in Seattle consider senior seminars are the money seminar and the sex and intimacy seminar. So there's a lot more deeper interactions that happen with people who already, you know, from facile with some of the fundamental distinctions. That's also the coaching is a lot more rigorous, and what people bring into what they're dealing with is also from a context of somebody who's a graduate who dealt with this. That's the only difference.
Gotcha, so basically, people would have less hangups because they've already come complete with
It's,
the
yeah,
distinctions.
you can have like some conversations at a much deeper level
Okay.
when people have been familiar with those distinctions.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So if your,
Yeah.
Your spouse who hasn't been through,
yeah,
how does that work?
it's great actually. I was married.
Hey, what I'm saying is that.
She will benefit from it, don't worry.
So she can't attend? even
I
if
don't know, she can't attend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's a great question.
Okay, I mean,
So-
I'm just thinking if.
No, it's,
If your wife was gonna come, but I've completed the, she doesn't qualify, so.
yeah, no, it's,
that
so she'll get the full benefit of the seminar.
From me.
Because every assignment is to go and distinguish your inauthenticity about what you know about sex, what you learn, and all that. It's uncomfortable, but she's gonna get a lot. So you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, so, if you can so we're gonna give you, there's nothing to do. If you have any questions, does anybody have any other questions?
On the excellence.
Yeah.
I'm starting this, self-expression, which is
Yeah.
on Mondays too.
Okay, so then you could do it Thursday.
There's a section intimacy one.
Yeah, because if you have to, it works fine with the self-expression. I mean, we have lots of people actually doing the self-expression who are in that course, because it
So
only.
how often do they do the other one, that, because it's conflicted with the other program?
How often do they do the what? The
Every
self-expression?
week, every week, on Mondays.
Is it every week?
Yes, just the first 3 full days,
Okay,
or one a month, a full day on Saturdays, which no conflict.
okay,
But you go into a whole series every Monday,
okay,
that you're in that too, so.
okay.
so you-
Is it every Monday for
It's just-
seventh?
I don't
think
But just
so.
about every Monday, I mean,
I think there's.
it's like 14 sessions.
Okay. I know for sure self-expression and leadership participants and leaders are in this course, because there only comes 4 to 5 every 3 to 4
Yeah,
years.
that's what I,
But I don't, so,
yeah.
so my recommendation is talk to your self-expression and leadership.
Okay.
You know, bring it up with them and say, hey, I'm interested, would it create a conflict?
Okay.
Like that. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, so take it with you, check out your calendar, certain dates, if you're interested. Next week, you have the opportunity to register for these, any of these two. And if these two don't work for you and you're interested, we have other seminars that are further down, starting in December, maybe January, like that. So, but really, you wanna, if you to live a life of transformation, you wanna create for yourself. Like I said at the session number 1, you know, never, ever, ever, ever brush your last teeth. So transformation is kind of like that. You wanna, you know, ongoingly create an environment where you wanna get the distinctions alive in your life. If you don't, take it from me, it goes out of existence, just like that. You're back to your rackets and strong suits before you know it. So that's the invitation, okay? All right. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to stand up and stretch.
We all have 3 minutes to get to. Just to stand up. All hunched over.
Shoulders? Yeah.
Did that once. No way.
Very good.
Yes. Right now, too.
You're in BT still.
At Alfred's thing in the morning.
Okay, everybody have a seat? Yeah.
So,
You're gonna take it.
Tuesday, the middle of October.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, everybody.
I get 4 to 7 or something. No.
We probably could. I mean, I'm not working.
So now we're gonna talk about a specific kind of context called breakdowns. Breakdowns as an empowering context. So let's take a moment and look at what happens when you're acting on a commitment or a possibility. And then boom, something happens and you are left with an experience of being upset or disempowered or even thwarted. Everybody knows what the word thwarted? Say with me.
Yep.
Okay, just checking with my accent, I'm uncomfortable. Okay, so sometimes things don't go the way we expect them to when we're committed to something, right? And for the most part, you and I as human beings, we don't deal powerfully with that. Why? Because our reaction is usually emotionally charged. And, you know, so this conversation is designed to give you power when things don't go the way we expected or planned when we're acting on a commitment or a possibility. Okay. So here's a question for you. So when things are not going the way you expected or planned, when you are acting on a commitment or a possibility, how do you typically react? How do you usually react?
Get mad.
Get mad? Okay.
Not well.
Not well?
Not well.
Not well. I see. You don't react well. Okay. What would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words,
Yeah.
Retreat within.
Yeah. Okay. Shut down. Okay. Take myself away.
You try to run and hide somehow.
Run and hide and avoid. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Well, initially a little discouraged, but usually realize like this is an opportunity to learn something new.
Oh, got
So
it.
I can't learn anything new without something challenging me that I'm not familiar with.
Okay. So you react by
Try to regroup.
acknowledging it, regroup, and say, "Wow, this is an opportunity to learn."
I need to approach this with a different perspective or
Okay.
different something, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do my best, hopefully not to, like say, give up, you know,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
initially always, a little discouraging that's kind of a sign of like, oh, opportunities here.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, change your perspective. Okay. Well, Melissa, do you have anything?
No, I mean, I think it's just harboring anger.
Yeah, harboring anger.
Yeah, just letting it
Yeah,
sit.
yeah, okay. So, how do you deal powerfully when things don't go the way you expect or plan when you're acting on a commitment or possibility? So, consider being powerful in these situations requires a shift in context. The experience of being thwarted, upset, impeded, disempowered, or invalidated is not because of what happened. Actually, it's never because of what happened. It's because of the context in which we hold the what happened. So when you're up to something, committed to something, and something happens that's inconsistent what you're up to, that throws you off, the default context is there's something wrong here. The conversation, there's something wrong here, is there in your internal dialogue. But have you check out or take yourself away or harbor anger is what's going on in your internal dialogue. And it doesn't matter how much we experience what happened is really wrong, and how much agreement that there is, that it is wrong, that it happened. So this is for you, Michael. Doesn't matter that it is wrong that it happened. Your internal dialogue is solely a function of the context in which you are holding what happened. So it's really the internal dialogue that is guiding your action, is giving you the action. So what, right? So so to start with, what you want to do is, first, you got to recognize what happened, just the facts, not the story, not the interpretation, just the fact. What happened? So Michael, you get that? You want to get the what happened. What happened was probably something got said or didn't get said. That's what happened, just the facts. And as you have, and you have to recognize that what happened is no longer inside of the context of acting on your commitment or your possibility. So whatever happened, whatever he said or didn't say, is no longer consistent with the context of the possibility of friendship or expectations that you have. You just have to recognize that. Okay? It's now inside the context of something is wrong or something shouldn't be. Make sense?
What's the something should be?
It's now inside a context of there's something wrong here. Something you shouldn't, whatever you say shouldn't be. That you have an expectation, you said that you should apologize for what happened. That it keeps persisting, that shouldn't be. Okay. So what you do is, first you recognize what happened, just the facts, what happened. Then you recognize that it's whatever happened is inconsistent with whatever we say we're committed to as a possibility. And then at that point, now that you know that what happened, and now that you know that it's inconsistent with whatever commitment and possibility that I had about that, is we declare a breakdown. So the power of declaring a breakdown is a shift in context. See, that declaration, when you declare a breakdown, that declaration stops the reaction, because a breakdown isn't real in the world. It's only a breakdown relative to what's important to you. It's only important relative to how much you value the friendship. So you gotta ask yourself, what was the breakdown? Why was that important to me? And remind yourself that you were taking the action inside some commitment or possibly that was important to you. And then you gotta remind yourself what the commitment or possibility is. See, by returning yourself to your commitment and what you're up to, or your possibility, you start to have what happened live inside the context of what's possible. Then all there is to do is ask yourself, what's missing? What action can I take that will forward my possibility or commitment? So I know I kind of threw this at you, and so I'd like to work with someone who's actually dealing with something that just happened either today or in the last day or so, where you were acting inside your commitment or possibility, and something happened, and you ended up in the default context of something is wrong here. So who's got something that they're dealing with today or yesterday that you like have it as there's something wrong here, get a breakdown. You wanna,
Well, it's not today or yesterday.
or is it something that you're still showing up for you as a breakdown?
In some ways, I'm still
Okay.
trying to process it.
You wanna
Sure.
look at that? Yeah, great. So what happens? Go stand up.
So what happened is
Yeah.
I had a good friend that anytime we were meeting up, she would be very late, like 30 minutes late, and I'd just be sitting there waiting.
Okay.
And I would sit there and I get
So
frustrated.
when was the last time that you remember that this happened? To get on the board.
It was, we were meeting for dinner.
Okay, so how
Yeah.
long ago was that?
It was a little while ago,
Like,
probably in the last year.
okay, but put yourself there.
Yeah.
Like when it happened, great,
Yeah,
okay, so you
yeah.
had planned for dinner,
Right.
and she,
Yeah.
what did she showed up late?
Yeah,
Okay,
showed up 30 minutes late.
30 minutes late, okay.
And I was super angry and frustrated
Sure.
because I busted my butt to get everything done to show up there at that time.
Okay.
And she had the same amount of commitments I did, but this was like a pattern. So I finally decided to tell her, like, hey, this really bothers me and it hurts my feelings that, you know, every time we're meeting up, which, you know, I have kids, so I don't have much of a social life
Sure.
outside my kids, feel like I'm sitting and waiting around for you.
Okay,
And she didn't take it really well. She just said like, well, that's just how I am. And, kind of started saying things like, well, now I'm uncomfortable being around you because if something happens, you know, you're gonna interpret it this way. And, you know, I basically said, you know, what I've come to understand for myself is that like, my interpretation is you don't care about me.
yeah,
I don't matter enough for you to show up. And that's my interpretation
Yeah.
of it.
okay, great, so now we're gonna, so I got it, and we're gonna just rewind just to the first part, cause
Okay.
that's what happened. So,
Okay.
do you wanna get present, so what happened was, you had plans for dinner.
Yep,
And then you showed up on time.
Yep.
And she showed up 30 minutes late.
right.
So what was your commitment for that dinner? What were you, yeah, what was the possibility of the dinner? What was your commitment to, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's to deepen friendship and spend time together and,
Yeah, so inside the possibility of deepening friendship and spending time together, coming 30 minutes late is inconsistent, right? So it was inside that commitment.
right.
You know, some other place where showing up 30 minutes late would be okay if you had a different kind of relationship, right? If you were in a different environment. So it's only, so first do you get that it's the breakdown of being 30 minutes late is only a breakdown inside the commitment that you have of deepening the friendship and spending time together.
Right.
You get that? Yeah, so now, what do you see, because you could declare a breakdown. You could declare a breakdown
Yeah.
instead of a pattern, you know, all of this, whatever you said.
Yeah.
But now, looking at it newly, you could declare a breakdown and say, you know, I'm committed to, as a possibility, to deepening our friendship and spending time together, quality time together.
Right.
And that's why we're meeting, and taking 30 minutes out of that plan is
Right.
going to impact both of us, and it's
Right.
inconsistent, I That's a breakdown.
And then what?
Well, and then what do you see now, if you could declare that as a breakdown? What do you see is missing as a new set of actions inside that breakdown? So if Eric was, for example, that person,
Yeah,
and now he showed up 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late,
Yeah.
and yes, there was a pattern,
right.
but you declare a breakdown. You say, Eric, I'm declaring a breakdown. I'm committed that, this is a breakdown inside our commitment to deepening our friendship and spending time together.
Right.
So what could you say that's missing that you could?
I have no idea.
Good. Okay, well, that's a
I
good
have
place
no
to start.
idea what I say.
Well,
I think
you have no idea what?
I don't know what I say to her.
Oh,
But I
well,
think.
look newly. Because is there anything,
I feel like I did it, not that night, but I feel like I did say what I needed to say.
well, one evidence that is that it's still incomplete. It's incomplete for you.
It is, but I've also just made the choice not to invest in that relationship anymore.
No, you didn't make the choice. You decided not to invest in it. Right? So yeah, if it's not important to you, then this won't make any difference. But if it was important, if you decided that you want to resurrect that relationship, you want to this is one way of getting it complete, to declare a breakdown. Look, the way we were, hanging out,
Right.
just, I'm not committed. It's not a match for how friendship and the way our relationship to continue.
Right.
And then, so what's missing is, so you can make a request, for example, of, look, when we say we're gonna be at X place at X time,
Right.
it's important to me that we honor it, and if we're not, like that, I don't know, I don't wanna coach you.
Yeah.
You
I
wouldn't know,
guess-
I trust you would know what to say.
I don't know, in that moment, I would say, well, number one, I wouldn't say it in the moment, because I was so.
No, we're not
annoyed.
going there,
Yeah, yeah.
you're a
Yeah.
different person.
Yeah,
We're creating a future
right.
as,
Well, I feel like I did say that. She said, oh, this is just how I am in all areas of my
no,
life.
you didn't say that, you didn't declare a breakdown.
Okay.
Right, so you did what you did, and
Okay.
whatever you did was
So I
effective.
have to
was
say, I'm declaring a breakdown. That's what I have to say.
What-
That's what I would say. I'm
Yeah,
declaring a breakdown.
so this, part of what makes this a little ineffective is because it's it's something that happened, a while back, and B, you're not even sure that you wanna,
But I would have if there was another way to handle it, that would have been better, or would have supported the relationship.
But the problem is, you don't even, your experience of that interaction is purely, it's unreliable. You only have a memory. So you're trying to sort of,
I remember it very clearly.
clear, I know it shows up for you as very clear, but
Yeah.
our brain is not that reliable.
Right.
So what would make a difference is if there is something right now, with your kids or your husband or in life, where you're dealing with something, let's take that on. Because that is still unresolved, that you're committed, that matters to you, we can have that interaction, and that will make a
Right,
difference.
got it.
Like,
Okay.
is there something, we all have, I don't know about you, I can list 5 things with work that I can tell you that I'm dealing with that are still incomplete,
Yeah.
that I have a loss of power. There's no way you can screw it up,
No, I can't think
Yeah.
of anything
Okay,
right now.
okay, so that's great, then.
Yeah.
So then listen to others who are sharing,
Okay, okay.
if something else comes up later,
Okay.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Can I play, I got
Yes,
one,
please.
like,
Yeah.
right on the
So
tip
what's-
of
yeah.
what she had. So,
So what happened?
what happened
What happened?
is, I tried to reach out to a friend of mine who I felt like, the relationship had died, and I
Okay.
was able to recognize through the forum and advanced course my part in that. And I reached out to try and take responsibility and be authentic and say, hey, I realize how I was being.
I'm gonna get to the what happened.
Sure.
What did you do?
Okay. I called her
You called her,
and
okay.
said I'd like to talk. She didn't answer, so I left a
Okay.
voicemail.
Okay.
Texted, didn't get a response, texted, finally, after enough attempts of contacting, locked down a date and a time of when we would connect. She didn't call, I tried calling and didn't answer.
Okay.
And so then about 45 minutes later, she says, sorry, I didn't get off work in time, da-da-da. And I was like, okay, when works?
Yeah.
Gave me another time. Called at that time, sorry, I'm on the phone with someone else.
Okay.
Okay, well, now my time is no longer available. Well, then she says that she's available later that afternoon. And I was like, okay. Well, no, sorry, she didn't say that. She's like, I was like, I'm sorry, I only got like 5 minutes. She's like, okay, well, let's try and see what we can do with that. I
Okay.
was like, that's not really enough time to try and get anywhere, but sure, why not?
So who said, let's try to do something, you or she did?
She said,
She said
how much
that-
time do you have available? And I said, I need to be out of here in 10 minutes. She's like, okay, well, let's see how far we get to 5.
Oh, okay.
So we called, we talked, didn't go very well.
No, that shows actually didn't go very well. What happened?
What happened
Yeah.
is I shared where I was at, she shared where she was at.
So, what did you say? Yeah, this will make a difference.
Sure, okay.
Just
Um,
say what happened.
I said
this,
that,
she said this.
sure, I said that I realized that I wrote you off and that I took our interactions as you felt like I was putting on your bench, on the bench, and that I was making somebody else more important than you. And I don't know if that was the case because I never asked you. But I took how you were acting and reacting as what that meant to me.
Okay. That's what you said.
Right, that's what I
Okay.
said.
Okay, and what did she say?
And what she said is she felt like I was making her out to be the bad guy and that I wasn't taking responsibility for what I did and that there was equally amounts of wrong in the situation. And I said I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I feel like that it was very much so one-sided, that she was putting me down for the decisions that I was making, that I was moving too fast, and that she didn't like the way I was doing it. And I was like, well, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm gonna do, you do what you want.
Okay.
And right now, couldn't talk, didn't get any conclusion.
Okay.
She said she was available later if I wanted to conclude this conversation, and so I texted her about an hour and a half later, said, okay, I'm available again. No response.
Okay.
Finally get a text about 10:30 at night, well, almost 10 o'clock at night, saying that, sorry, something came up, she didn't realize, da-da-da. And so finally I text back and I say, you know what, I've been reaching out to you since July, and I really, really feel like that you don't think it's as important to have this conversation as I do. And so I'm putting the ball in your court, and when you are ready and want to have this conversation, I'm here, but I'm done reaching out.
Okay. So are you interested in resolving this?
I feel like I mean, it's definitely something that I can see that I'm reliving the frustration as I retell the story, but I feel like I got complete with where I stand on the matter, and I can't control somebody else. I can't make them think or feel anything else, and I feel like I was authentic in realizing how I was and explaining to her how I had been, and I got feedback from her on what that was like for her. And until she gets to a point where she wants to engage or do anything with what I've shared with her authentically, there's nothing. I can't force it.
I got it, yeah. So whether you actually have the conversation with her to complete this is a choice
Right.
with you. And either way, I have no problem, but are you interested in having power with this?
Having power with the friendship or having power with
Having power with it, right now, you know, you say I'm complete with it. Take the case you're not complete.
Okay. Yeah.
So are you interested in?
I am interested in
Okay.
having power with frustration.
Okay, okay. So I get, you know, you try to communicate, you reach out, and then you guys have an incomplete conversation, and then after that, you try to reach out again to complete the conversation that way you run out of time, and then from whatever she responded, you said, okay, that's it. Been trying, working this for a year, it doesn't look like you're interested in this, and I'm moving on, something like that, right? Yeah, okay. So Oh, no, I think you said something that's really important, which is, I don't think this is as important to you as it is for me. There, your action tells me that you're not, this is not as important to you.
Yeah, the soles of your shoes
Yeah.
aren't where your mind
Great,
is.
okay, so here's the question, why is it important to you?
It was important to me because it was a self-realization that I wasn't authentic with her before. And I feel like it was really important for me to come complete with that.
Why is that important to you?
Because I was carrying around this animosity towards somebody that I created.
Yeah, and why is that important to you?
Because I don't want to carry it around anymore.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So you wanna come, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's important to you because you don't wanna carry around the animosity and that comes from some incompletion.
Correct.
That's important to you.
Correct.
Yeah, and inside that commitment, you know, you took actions, and then whatever, she did or you did, you know, it ended up now in this limbo mode.
Right.
So you could declare a breakdown. Inside the commitment, again, it's the commitment of I'm being unwilling to carry around animosity. Leaving things incomplete would be a breakdown.
Right.
So what do you see as missing to fulfill on the commitment to not carry around?
I see two things missing. I
Yeah.
see, if I look at it from the context of, it's a partnership, I see equal effort missing. But if I look at it from the context of me being my best self, what I see missing is truly accepting what is and what isn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the context, if you shifted the context, you can actually be the way it is
Mhm.
and calling it good and be complete about it and not be disempowered by it. Or you can say, no, it's really important to me to go and take responsibility and reach out to this person and whatever. I mean, you know, I trust you have that choice, but now. But you don't have to be dealing with it with yourself, with having to carry around this animosity.
See, it's funny, going through all these teachings and everything and having the knowledge, like I knew, like I literally just walked through what we're talking about in different contexts.
Yeah,
Doesn't change making the choice any easier of, okay, I
I mean,
can
that's so
acknowledge
great,
that,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I can acknowledge that what's missing, I'm not choosing
Yeah.
to accept it as whole and complete.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah,
the
well-
bridge?
Well, that's where the seminar, that's why this is a coaching structure. Left to my own device, you know, I would do the same thing. I mean, I conceptually would get it, but not necessarily take action.
Right.
So having an environment that holds you accountable, listens to you as bigger than who you are and as a possibility, creates an opportunity for you to sort of, you know, discover it yourself. Okay? So now you have a choice.
I know we're talking about form and action, but I took the advanced course, and what
Yeah.
keeps popping up for me is that the machine
Yeah.
that runs everything
Yeah.
is what's preventing me from taking that action, because my act is, that's not fair, I'm not here.
Yeah.
And so is that where I'm having
But
the-
that's, yeah, so that's a good explanation, but that just needs an explanation, that makes a difference.
Right.
Right, so you wanna, you know, what we're creating is to be someone who's living a life of transformation is to ongoingly and continually generate your context. So, you know, now you see a new context where you actually, it's as simple as, you know, altering the context that allows you to deal with it as once you know, bring it to get present to the undistinguished context. You can either be with it and calling it, declare it complete, and then that will free you up, or no, it's important to me to have a conversation with this person to be complete, or you can take an action. Both would give you a sense of completion, and you've got the choice. As a now, you know, declaring a breakdown will give you an empowering context. Either way, it's still a breakdown. So that's what declaring a
Right.
breakdown would give you, an empowering context to choose the action. And then when you can bring yourself to nothing. I think you're still, part of it is, you still have a something about it. I mean, I could
That's fair.
hear,
Yeah,
there's
but as
a
I'm
making
describing
wrong
it,
about,
definitely, yeah.
about her. There's something about her, about the
Right.
situation, about justifying all the, you know, effort that you put into it. Like there's self-justification about it. So this is an opportunity to look at that and say, wow, okay, it gives me a being righteous payoff about it. Or you could say, okay, let's just be human and shift the context and get yourself to nothing. And then from nothing, you can sort of see what comes up. Because you can't take action on top of something. There's still something about it.
So how do I recognize something gets nothing? Because I think that I've done it in the past, not necessarily in this situation, where I've conceptually or intellectually come to the understanding of the action that needs to be taken and said, all right, this is bullshit, I'm not gonna deal with it, and I'm gonna change the context. And,
Yeah.
you know, let it be. But then, you know, a week, month, whatever down the road, I realized, no, I'm actually angry with that. You
Yeah.
know, just like the stuff that happened when we were children.
Yeah.
We thought we were dead, but we realized we made a story out of it. So I'm afraid that if I don't recognize that something truly gets nothing,
Yeah.
like, what is getting nothing in this situation?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the first thing you want to ask is, are you really interested?
I'm very interested, because it can be applied in a lot of different situations.
Take the case that you're not.
Oh, okay. Okay. And no, I'm not interested. Currently, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah, you're not committed. You're committed to being right.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. So you
It's my
can,
racket.
exactly. So you want to own it. You know, distinguishing it actually is a miracle. It gives you so much power. If you can say, look, I'm committed to making it right, or, you know, wrong. I'm committed to being right. It's actually free. There's nothing to do. That's just it. And then there would be a time where, no, I'm not, you know, you're going to say something else. No, I'm tired of this. It's not as exciting.
So there's power in identifying
Yes.
the racket, but not doing anything with it, just the identifying it.
And you
gives
can't,
power.
yeah, you can't even do anything. It's just absurd to think you can transform something without distinguishing it as what it is. You first want to distinguish it. Because it's got nothing to do with you. It's just how you wound up being. Like you said, your machinery is having a reaction. And you just want to let it as that. Wow, okay. I noticed my machinery is reactivated about this. It's the, see, you're trying to
Trying to
suppress
change
that.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
trying to transform it,
And then
but
you
I'm not
describe
ready
it as,
to.
oh, intellectually I get it, all of that. It's all spiral. It's just getting you off the hook.
So it's like I can declare that it's a racket, that I have power, and that's what it is.
Yeah, you want to be authentic about your experience.
And that I'm not ready to give it up. Do I?
Yeah, you don't
do
even
I
have to
declare
worry
that
about
I'm not
it.
ready
You
give
don't
it
have
up?
to worry about any of that.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about being ready or not ready. You want to try on being present to your actual experience and declare it as what it is.
I declare that I'm frustrated. This is
Well,
bullshit, it
not just
sucks.
frustrated. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think there's more than that, right? I mean, there is a make wrong. There's a.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
like I said, the racket, just
Yeah.
pay off.
Yeah, racket is a description. I mean, you want to get, see, you want to get